organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Tonight on Daily Iowan TV, we give you the update on last night's crash involving a car and 2 women on a moped that left one hospitalized.
And I'll give you a look at where you can find the freshest produce around.
We take a look at one softball player whose bats earned her way as the first Hawkeye in the Iowa record books.
And how Iowa baseball closes out its homestand this weekend.
We're bringing all of this and more coming up.
Welcome to Daily Iowan TV.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Nick Fisher.
And I'm Austin Love. We reported a moped accident last night that left one moped rider unresponsive. The other person on the moped was Daily Iowan TV's Greta Miley. Greta wrote a social media post this afternoon saying they were thrown off the moped at 40 miles per hour. She said she landed on her backpack and suffered minor injuries. Her friend Bailey Cochran suffered a severe leg injury and will undergo her second surgery tomorrow. We're keeping them both in our thoughts.
When driving down the road, you can generally see how fast you're going by the flashing number coming from a speed trailer. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office is now looking to update these trailers to include cameras to take photographs as a way to remind people to slow down to avoid getting a ticket. This has received some resistance from officials who believe that drivers should not have the right to be photographed. The update is under advisement.
Oklahoma declared a state of emergency in dozens of counties today as tornadoes and severe weather ripped their way across the Midwest. Severe winds and heavy winds have hit Kansas, Nebraska, and Texas as well. 13 were injured in Oklahoma City, and Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin says storms and flooding have caused extensive damage to public and private properties. The good news is that a second day of tornadoes appears unlikely.
According to an online video statement from an Al-Qaeda in the Arab Peninsula spokesman, U.S. drone strikes killed a senior commander of Al-Qaeda. Though it is not clear when the commander was killed, a U.S. official confirmed the death but would not say whether this was caused by a drone strike. The senior commander gave a statement claiming responsibility for the Charlie Hebdo shootings in Paris. Staying in national news, a National Security Agency phone record collection program that was kept mostly secret for nearly a decade is under fire today. A federal appeals court ruled that the telephone metadata collection program is illegal under the Patriot Act. The part of the Patriot Act that the government says gives all its right to collect millions of phone records per day expires in June.
Looking for local produce without making a drive to the grocery store? Then you're in luck. I went to the Iowa City Farmers Market yesterday to check it out. Everything from fresh produce to gourmet gelato was on display at the Iowa City Farmers Market Wednesday. This past week kicked off the farmers market season downtown, and for some, it couldn't have come sooner.
I've been counting down the days until it was coming back into town. It's one of my favorite parts of the year, so it's pretty exciting.
Unlike most farmers markets that only take place on Saturday mornings, here in Iowa City, they also take place every Tuesday and Wednesday.
Catch a lot of people right after work and they can swing through, pick up their groceries, make dinner, head home.
Farmers markets are one of the best ways to buy local produce. Not only is it sold at a fair price, but you get to meet the people who made it.
Talking to the people that are growing it, you can learn how to do it yourself, or I think you just get a deeper understanding, I guess, of what it is and how much work it takes to bring that to your table.
And that hard work has been keeping many local businesses thriving throughout the years, helping both farmers and the economy.
So these are all people that are making or growing whatever they're selling. So all of the money that we make is going right back into the community.
And as we're still in the rainy days of spring, don't let the rain keep you away.
We have some really brave vendors. Even on Saturdays when we have people on the street on Washington, they fight through it.
Austin Love, Daily Iowan TV. Nick, it was great to see people at the farmers market yesterday despite the rainy weather.
I know that rainy weather stuck around today. Hopefully it's gone by the weekend.
Absolutely. Sam and Joe, is the rain going to let up anytime soon?
Next week is looking clear, but the rain this weekend will keep us inside studying for finals. Tonight we'll see a low 61 with rain carrying into tomorrow morning, with temps in the low 60s, rising to the mid 70s in the afternoon and down to 57 by night. Saturday will be cloudy with a 40% chance of PM showers and a high of 77. Those thunderstorms will come back on Sunday with a high of 88 and low of 60. Looking into next week, we'll see the rain hopefully stay away after Monday, with highs hovering around 70 and lows in the mid to upper 40s. It looks like we'll get some sunshine next Wednesday, but the rest of the week is looking cloudy. Seniors, cross your fingers that the rain holds off until after graduation. That's all I have for you two tonight. Back to you two at the desk.
Veterinarians confirm Iowa's had its first known case of canine dysautonomia in Independence. It is a deadly disease that destroys dogs' nerve cells that controls its subconscious bodily functions like swallowing, heart and pupil function, and more. Veterinarians stress this is a rare disease and it could be caused by soil, though they're not sure. The dirt that dog ate may have been imported and not found in Iowa naturally. Vets don't think dysautonomia is contagious, and University of Wyoming researchers are looking into probable causes.
In-state students may pay less than out-of-state students to come to the University of Iowa, but who actually comes out with more debt? In 2014, the UI was made up of 55% Iowa resident students and 45% out-of-state resident students. Of the in-state students that graduated, 70% still had financial debt, as opposed to the 50% of out-of-state students. To help students in dealing with their debt, the UI has hired 2 financial literacy specialists. Time is winding down for UI seniors leaving, some feeling nostalgic about their last 4 years.
Yeah, our own Megan Sanchez sat down with one senior who is drawing on her memories at Iowa in this week's art segment.
Thanks, guys. Many senior Hawkeyes are gearing up to graduate and head off to the real world. I sat down with UI senior Elise Dilger, and she reflected on her time here at Iowa in the graphic design BFA program.
Hi, I'm Elise Dilger. I am 22 years old, and I'm graduating from the University of Iowa with a BFA in graphic design. My interest in art started when I was a senior in high school. I took one of my very first art classes, and I was surprisingly pretty good at it. But then I went here originally to do forensic science, and I was really unhappy with it, and I changed my major to communications and art. After graduation, I'm working for a photographer on PDR Productions. He's a food photographer out of Chicago, and so I'll be working as a photo assistant and social media marketer for that. And then I've also taken the first steps to starting my own freelance company. I really love just being able to express myself through it. I draw in my sketchbook all the time, and I draw really silly things, but then some things that actually matter to me, and I really enjoy not me necessarily. I don't make a lot of social impact with my art, which is something I'd like to do, but I like seeing the other impacts that people can make with their art, so I love that. I'm going to miss the professors and the TAs that I've had. They've been really encouraging and so helpful throughout my time here. And I'm also just going to miss the surrounding community too. I think the community itself is very inspirational with seeking local artists and things like that.
Elise leaves the Wednesday after graduation for a celebratory trip to New York City, where she's hoping to see lots of art. That's all I have this week in arts and entertainment. Nick, Austin, back to you.
Tom Brady's camp is firing back after yesterday's NFL report that said the New England Patriot quarterback was aware of an equipment assistant deflating Patriot game balls before this year's AFC Championship game against the Indianapolis Colts. Brady's agent, Don Yee, called the report a significant and terrible disappointment. Yee also accused the NFL of cooperating with the NFL in perpetrating a sting operation.
Well, it's a good thing baseballs and softballs are made of cork and rubber, so a series of Deflategate scandals will most likely not be found on the diamonds for the Iowa baseball and softball teams as they prepare for Big Ten action.
Yeah, it's very true, Nick. And for more about the tournament, we'll toss it over to Austin Lewis and Chelsea Brown, who are standing by in the sports studio.
Thanks, guys. And Iowa softball is currently in action against Rutgers, but we take a look at how one Iowa softball player's bat earned her a spot in the Iowa record books.
The redshirt sophomore Sammy Geierman can now officially say she was the first softball player ever in Iowa history to hit the cycle. Daily Iowa TV sports reporter Nicole Ray tells us more.
University of Iowa softball player Sammy Geierman has made history. She's the only person in the Iowa record books to have a cycle. Just a few weeks ago, the redshirt sophomore got her name in the record books when she went 4 for 4 with 3 runs and 6 RBIs in a game against the University of Illinois.
It's probably the first time it's happened in my career, and something that I think a lot of
little kids looking up to baseball players strive for to hit a cycle. But it was just me seeing the ball really well, nothing really to it.
A cycle is not easy to come by, though, as there are only 305 cycles recorded in the entire history of Major League Baseball. Along with being the first for Iowa, Geierman is just the third player in the Big Ten Conference history to achieve this feat. A cycle is when a player in one game hits a single, a double, a triple, and a home run.
It's a unique experience, even watching it on TV, watching someone go through it. You're just waiting, even if you're the opponent. You're like, yeah, is she going to do it? Is she going to do it? Is he going to do it? And it was fun to see because it takes a lot of skill.
Geierman has proven to be a key player for the Hawkeyes this season, starting in all 56 games to earn her 57 hits and leading the team with 39 total runs.
She's definitely become more comfortable in the speed of the game and trying to understand herself.
Becoming more comfortable with myself and finally getting my set swing down, I think, and just becoming into the player that I've always wanted to become, confident and cool and collective.
Sammy and the rest of the Iowa softball team kicked off their Big Ten championship tonight against Rutgers in Columbus, Ohio. This has been Nicole Ray for Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Tune back in Sunday night for the full recap on how Iowa softball finished their run in the Big Ten tournament.
And the Iowa baseball team is closing in on one of the most historic seasons in Iowa history. Head coach Rick Heller has made a name for himself along the way, being named the winningest coach in Iowa history in his first 2 seasons.
To find out where the squad is headed next, we will send it over to Daily Iowan TV sports reporter Taylor Brooks.
Much of the 2015 baseball season for the Iowa Hawkeyes could be said it has been a battle, but most of the battles have been won by this 34-12 squad.
I mean, with our pitchers on the mound and the defense that we play, we know we always have a chance to win, and it's important for us.
As the regular season is slowly coming to a close with only 2 Big Ten series left, there is still a lot of baseball to be played, and it starts with Minnesota on Friday, May 8th. And Iowa knows the battle will continue.
Minnesota, they always put up a tough fight against us. It's going to be a good series. As long as we come and play like we are capable of, we should be fine.
Minnesota stands at 19-26 on the year and 7-11 in the conference. They stand right in the middle of the Big Ten pack, meaning this series against Iowa is extremely important regarding the Big Ten tournament.
We've talked a million times about how good the league is, and Minnesota's a team that is sitting in that 7-8 range and really playing for their life to get into the conference tournament. They're hosting it. I mean, it's a big deal. You're going to get their best. You're going to get their best effort.
Minnesota's projected pitcher for the series opener is Ben Meyer. He posts a 4-2 record in the Big Ten Conference with a 3.64 ERA and 28 strikeouts.
We're going to have to beat a top-line Friday night starter in Meyer in Game 1, who's been hot. He's only given up 4 runs in his last 4 starts. A couple CGs in there, and I mean it's going to be a war just like all of them.
This might be another test for Iowa, but their goals remain high as they have all season.
Our goal right now is obviously to stay in this Big Ten race and to be able to host a regional at the end of the year. So every game is important now. It's more than ever. We're going to go take it one game at a time.
This has been Taylor Brooks for Daily Iowan TV Sports.
After this series against Minnesota, the team will have one more series to close up the regular season at Rutgers before the Big Ten tournament in Minneapolis.
And with such a successful 2015 season, take a look at this tweet that was sent out earlier by Jess Rickardson. It shows 2 added sections of the bleachers onto the baseball field saying, "If you rent it, they will come," playing off the very famous quote, "If you build it, they will come," from the baseball movie Field of Dreams. Austin, have you ever made it out to Dyersville, Iowa to see the set?
I actually have a couple of times, and it's just awesome being on the same field as all those famous people, especially Kevin Costner.
I think the house is a little bigger in person as well, don't you think?
I would have to agree. And actually, that's going to wrap things up for us here in the sports studio tonight. But make sure to tune in Sunday for the recap of the baseball series against the Gophers. And it may be finals week next week, but Daily Iowan TV will continue its normal programming throughout the week. Nick and Austin, back to you guys.
That does it for us here on Daily Iowan TV, but make sure to check us out on dailyiowan.com for your latest news.
Thanks for watching. I'm Austin Love.
And I'm Nick Fisher. Have a great weekend.